Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a deep dive into one of the most intense and potentially devastating geopolitical flashpoints in the world today, a hypothetical war between the United States and China over Taiwan. This scenario, though fictional for now, is rooted in very real tensions and military preparations on both sides. The possibility of conflict has grown over the years as China continues to assert its claim over Taiwan, while the United States maintains its commitment to the island's defense under the Taiwan Relations Act. In this script, we'll explore the various elements that would define such a conflict, including geography, military assets, strategy, technology, defense systems, economic impact, and the ultimate question of who would come out on top. Taiwan is a small but strategically critical island located in the western Pacific, just about 100 miles off the southeastern coast of China. It has long been seen by the Chinese government as a breakaway province that must eventually be unified with the mainland, by force if necessary. On the other hand, Taiwan sees itself as a sovereign democracy with its own government, military, and constitution. For decades, the United States has provided arms to Taiwan and maintained strategic ambiguity, not explicitly promising military intervention but not ruling it out either. This has kept the peace, but as China's military capabilities expand rapidly and Taiwan becomes more assertive in its identity, the risk of open conflict increases. In terms of geography, China has the home field advantage. Its forces can launch from the mainland and reach Taiwan in minutes. The narrow Taiwan Strait provides limited room for naval maneuvering, which benefits China in short-range missile engagements and aerial dominance in the early phases. The U.S. military, by contrast, would need to project power across the Pacific, relying on bases in Japan, South Korea, Guam, and possibly Australia. This would create logistical challenges, but the U.S. is highly experienced in long-range force deployment and joint operations across vast distances. When we talk about interior capabilities, we're referring to the internal command, control, and coordination systems of both nations. The U.S. military operates under a highly advanced network-centric warfare model. Real-time data sharing between ships, aircraft, satellites, and ground units allows for coordinated strikes, flexible defense, and rapid adaptation to battlefield developments. Artificial intelligence and cyber capabilities enhance decision-making and reduce response time. China, on the other hand, has developed a centralized system under the command of the People's Liberation Army. While less flexible, it is designed for speed and overwhelming force. China has modernized its internal military doctrine to match Western standards and invested heavily in AI, cyber warfare, and electronic jamming. The performance of both militaries would be measured by their air, naval, and missile capabilities. The U.S. Navy remains the largest and most powerful in the world. Its 11 aircraft carriers are floating air bases capable of launching hundreds of sorties per day. The U.S. also fields advanced stealth fighters such as the F-22 and F-35, supported by aerial refueling, electronic warfare aircraft, and unmanned drones. The U.S. Air Force brings long-range bombers, cruise missiles, and advanced ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, capabilities. China has narrowed the gap in recent years. It now has 3 aircraft carriers, a growing fleet of destroyers and submarines, and its own 5th-generation fighter, the J-20. It has also developed hypersonic glide vehicles and long-range missiles like the DF-21D and DF-26, often referred to as carrier killers. In a war over Taiwan, both sides would likely try to blind each other using cyber attacks and destroy satellites to cripple communication and navigation. Safety features in this context refer to the defense mechanisms and systems designed to protect forces and deter escalation. The U.S. has a network of missile defense systems like the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense System, THAAD, and Patriot systems stationed in key ally territories. It also benefits from the presence of loyal regional allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia, which could provide staging grounds, intelligence, and even direct support. China has built up its coastal defenses with integrated air defense systems, anti-ship missile batteries, and hardened facilities. The PLA's strategy is often described as anti-access/area denial, A2/AD, designed to keep U.S. forces at bay and make any intervention costly. Nuclear deterrence adds another layer of complexity, as both the U.S. and China possess second strike capabilities, making any full-scale war a gamble with potentially catastrophic consequences. What sets each side apart, their unique selling points, is just as important as raw numbers. For the United States, technological superiority, global logistics, and deep combat experience provide an edge. U.S. forces have operated continuously in high-pressure environments across the globe for decades. The integration of allied forces through NATO and other coalitions brings in interoperability and shared intelligence. China's unique advantage lies in proximity, sheer numbers, and a singular focus on Taiwan. It can mobilize quickly, and its logistics and supply chains are local, not intercontinental. Moreover, China has the political will to act decisively, with a population conditioned to support national reunification as a matter of patriotic duty. This ideological edge could play a key role in sustaining public support during prolonged conflict. Now, let's talk about the cost, the real price of war. Militarily, losses would be high on both sides. U.S. aircraft carriers could be sunk. Chinese warships could be decimated. Tens of thousands of troops could die in the first days of fighting. Economically, the war would send shockwaves through global markets. Taiwan is home to over 60% of the world's semiconductor manufacturing capacity, particularly in advanced chips. Any disruption would halt industries from smartphones to fighter jets. Trade routes across the South China Sea, where trillions of dollars in commerce flow, would be severely impacted. Sanctions, blockades, and cyber attacks could drag the global economy into recession or worse. The political cost would be enormous as well. A war would polarize global alliances, potentially splitting the world into rival economic and military blocs. Civilian populations in Taiwan would face the brunt of the suffering, with cities under bombardment and millions displaced. Ultimately, the question is, who would win? And the honest answer is that there may be no winner. If the war stays conventional and short, China might succeed in overwhelming Taiwan quickly, especially if the U.S. hesitates. If the U.S. intervenes forcefully and early, it could push back a Chinese invasion and protect Taiwan, but only at great cost. If the war drags on, both sides suffer severely, and the global fallout becomes unmanageable. The nuclear dimension looms in the background, not likely, but always a possibility. In such a case, even a limited exchange would cause unimaginable devastation. In conclusion, a war between the U.S. and China over Taiwan is one of the gravest risks to global peace in the 21st century. Both nations are preparing for it, modeling it, and even simulating how it would unfold. But the reality would be far more complex, deadly, and unpredictable than any war game or simulation. While military power is critical, diplomacy, restraint, and strategic wisdom may be the true keys to preventing disaster. As tensions rise and leaders speak boldly, the rest of the world watches, hoping that words and warnings will not give way to missiles and fire. Peace, for now, remains the wisest path. Thank you for watching and staying informed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep analysis right here on the channel.